Joining us now is Mia Schlicht, Research Fellow at the Institute of Public Affairs. Mia, thank you so much for your time. It's great to see you again. Let's start with what is happening in the UK. Small boat migrants who had their phones seized on arrival in Britain have now won compensation payouts. 32 asylum seekers have received more than £200,000. So that's more than £6,000 each, according to findings by The Sun. So the High Court ruled that in 2022, the Home Office policy breached human rights laws by taking their phones away. There are another 41 claims that are pending, which could push the bill to close to £500,000, Mia. Reform UK MP Robert Jenrick called it a farce, telling The Sun that this is further proof, as if it were needed, of how rulings made by European judges are working against the British people. I mean, Mia, can I get your reaction? What do you make of all of this?
Well, I think that point of view is probably correct, but it also just shows this is a very expensive lesson in just how poorly the migration system operates in the UK. I mean, every single day there is another scandal of small boat arrivals or illegal migrants crossing the border, and that shows no signs of slowing down. And this is just another scandal, the cherry on top of the crisis we're already seeing. And to put those numbers in perspective, yes, we've got that £210,000 figure. There was also a further £700,000 spent by UK taxpayers fighting these claims in the first place. And as you mentioned, that bill is expected to rise to over £480,000. So at the end of this, we are looking at over £1 million being bankrolled by UK taxpayers who are already struggling with the cost of living crisis. So it is no wonder that they are just outraged by the lack of leadership on this issue. And look, now we've got the UK Labour government rolling out some legislation to try and get this issue under control. But for many, it is a matter of too late. And that's why they're also angry at the Tory government, because let's not forget, this is a hangover from some of their very poor policies. And it's why so many are looking to reform.
Yeah, it's absolutely extraordinary. Let's talk about reform, because Starmer's U-turn on local elections is being dubbed a victory for reform, according to Nigel Farage. On Monday, the announcement was made that the government was finally abandoning plans to cancel local elections across 30 councils in May. Nigel Farage is claiming this is a victory for Reform UK. Mia, is he right? Is Labor running scared from voters right now?
Yeah, look, I think this is absolutely a victory for reform, if nothing else, because it is completely humiliating for Starmer. This is one of the most embarrassing things I've seen. I mean, he basically tried to cancel democracy. It didn't work, and now he's rolling out a whole array of media lines trying to basically throw anybody else under the bus that he can, and none of it is cutting through, because plain and simple, voters see through this. This does not pass the pub test. They saw that their democratic rights were tried to be taken away from them, all because Starmer was trying to save his own back. It's pretty clear that he was facing a wipeout in these elections, and he was trying to stop that from happening, and now they'll go ahead. So I'm quite excited for me to see the result of these. But I also think it's quite astonishing. Imagine if a Trump figure or someone on the right tried to do this. Imagine the outrage from mainstream media outlets. And I have not seen the same outrage from the media as we've seen in voters. And I think that it's very, very telling that this isn't being pointed out. It's one of the biggest scandals against our democratic systems.
Yeah, no, and sadly, no surprises there that the media is not covering it as well as it should. Nigel Farage is now leading as Britain's most popular party in the polls. This is pretty consistent, showing that Reform UK is in front. Keir Starmer struggles with just 19 months in his job after his landslide win. Nigel Farage has told supporters that he believes the next election could come earlier than 2029, possibly 2027 or even 2026 if the government continues to unravel. Mia, I think it's extraordinary that Keir Starmer is still there, but what do you make of the latest polling? You know, Nigel Farage, that momentum's not going away.
Well, yeah, I think Starmer is on life support at the moment. I'm as surprised as you are that he's still hanging on, but I think it is by a thread. But the polling doesn't surprise me. I think Reform has held on to this momentum for a long time now, and it's really shocked people just how long they've been able to hold on to this momentum. I think Farage is a new talent that we haven't seen in UK politics for a long time. I mean, last year he had to weather quite a few political storms, or quite a few campaigns run against him personally. And he kind of weathered those largely unscathed. And I think that was because he has done such a good job at building up his base, making it very, very clear what values he stands for, and then prosecuting those policies. And there are many people in the UK who have just felt like they have been left behind. And Farage has made it very clear that he stands for the UK first. He will put the UK first. Now, I think the problem that he will face is actually getting this party into power. He really needs to make sure that their party stays laser focused. We're at crunch time now. But I think the sooner this election comes, the better for him.
Just on those values with Reform UK, Suella Braverman says that a Reform UK government would scrap the Equalities Department entirely and abolish the role of Equalities Minister, even if it costs her her own job. She says because we are going to work to build a country defined by merit, not tokenism. I mean, that's some common sense there. What kind of impact do you think this will have, Mia?
Well, I just think it is so refreshing to have a leader stand up and actually talk about this. I think DEI has been dying for a long time. All over the West, people are over it. They're done with DEI. I mean, take one look at America from every level. It's not just the government in the US who has said we've had enough of DEI, but it's the corporates as well. At the end of the day, it doesn't really have any support. It was a radical ideology that was pushed upon all of us by activists, and it was taken up very fast and without much scrutiny. Basically because people were living in fear of being called out in one way or another. But now the voices of the mainstream have drowned out the voices of those activists. And now we're seeing people left, right and centre just rejecting DEI. We're over it. Nobody wants it anymore. And it doesn't actually lead to better outcomes for anyone. So I think it is refreshing to have someone stand up there and say, look, the second we get in, even if it costs me my own job, we're done with this.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well said. Mia Schlicht, Research Fellow at the Institute of Public Affairs. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.